Hi, I'm Evan Thomason with This Week in Santa Clarita. Right now I am joined with Sergeant Bob Walksmith with the Santa Clarita Valley Sheriff's Station. Bob, tell us what you do.
Evan, I'm the diversion officer on the J team at the Sheriff's Station. My job specifically is to look at the arrest of all students in the Santa Clarita Valley. Some of our students are 18 and they're finishing high school, so they're included in what we do. But it's mostly juveniles and a few adults that are still in high school. That's our primary function.
And this is in relation to drug offenses?
Yes, it's all drug offenses. That's all we do. The J team is assigned to all juvenile drug offenses. We have three elements to our team. We have the diversion section, which I do with the Detective Velick, and then we have the enforcement team, which we have two uniformed patrol officers assigned to the J team. And then we have the education side, which we go to the schools in the valley if we're requested to talk to the teachers, to show them some of the paraphernalia that the kids are coming up with in manufacturing that they might not even think was actually used for using drugs. And we tell them what the trends are, psychological effects are of the use of some of these drugs. We educate the teachers, parents, and we also talk to the kids.
And when we were talking earlier, your phone rang. You seem like you're a very busy man with this. How widespread is drug use in high schools in Santa Clarita?
I would imagine that every high school in the United States has got a terrible problem right now with substance abuse with minors. Santa Clarita Valley is no different than Beverly Hills, Oxnard, Simi Valley, anywhere. We have our problems. And what the captain did, Captain Becker, this drug situation has been going on for years, and Becker wanted to break the cycle of this and try something different. What we've been doing in the past, arresting, sending to court, and it works for some, but it doesn't work for nothing. Works for everybody. So Captain Becker wanted to do something that would have a significant impact on the recidivism of the kids. Wants to break the cycle. So he gave us the authority in the J team to pull aside the kids that appear not to be drug dealers and interview them, see if we're correct in that assumption, and with their parents' agreement, we divert them from the criminal justice system. Now what this does is gives them the opportunity not to have a criminal conviction on their record. If they went to court, they'd have the conviction on their record, and the court would send them to counseling. So instead, we send them to counseling. And we use several sources in the valley, Action, and A Light of Hope, and other programs. Now, there is a penalty. It's not all a gift. If they are brought in again on another violation before they're finished with the diversion program that we give them, then I'll file both charges in Sylmar Court. They'll go to court on the first case that I'm holding, and then the new case. So it's not a freebie. They're on thin ice, but they can make it, they can do it, and they can succeed. And we also use VITA, which there are some parents that really need some help with kids that are disrespectful, won't follow instructions, are truant, etc.
In VITA is the boot camp style diversion program?
Right, run by the Sheriff's Department and utilizing a Marine Corps in drill instruction. It's pretty hardy. Now, the last class we had, only one of the students that we referred dropped out. And I brought some kids there that I didn't think would ever make it. I mean, in my mind, I've learned a lot because I didn't think they had the gumption to go through with it. And there's some kids in there that have stayed with it, and I'm very proud of them. I'm excited for them.
Heroin is something that we've been talking a lot about in the recent months, and we had a heroin symposium back in August. Talk about, in your experience over the years, what heroin use has been like. Has it escalated?
Oh man, it's just unbelievable. When I was a narcotic officer years ago, the heroin addicts were mostly people in their mid to late 20s, and now we have kids here that are 17 years old. They're heroin addicts.
In your experience, do parents not know? What should they know? I mean, I assume there's a lot of parents that are blindsided by this. I mean, is that true?
It is true. But there are some key things to look for. Behavior differences, attitude at home. A kid that's had a good attitude has gotten, maybe almost B's and A's, and then the grades drop down to C's and D's. These are all indicators. The kind of kids that they're hanging with, that come over the house, are these kind of kids that you'd like your kid to be with? All these little indicators add up. And then the paraphernalia that I mentioned earlier, that we teach the parents what to look for. Now, initially, when the parents bring their kids to a Light of Hope or to Action, they have to go. The kids have to go with their parents, and the parents are taken into one classroom setting and educated, and the kids are taken off into another area where they begin their counseling sessions.
So, I guess on the last note, if there are parents out there that are struggling with their children, with these issues that we've talked about, what should they do?
Well, there's several different things they can do. Anybody can call me, and I'm not into arresting people. I can and I will, if I have to do that as a lever. But if I can help a family to get a kid into counseling without that, that's what I will do. They could call Action Direct, take their child to Action, a Light of Hope, which is across the street from the bowling alley on Soliday Canyon.
Certainly good information. Sergeant Bob Walksmith, I want to thank you for joining us.
Sure, Evan.
If you're out there, you're looking for more resources, I'd also encourage you to look at heroinkills.org. For this week in Santa Clarita, I'm Evan Thomason.